Brought to you by Hug House Productions.
Will here with another podcast I think you're gonna love. Mother, She Wrote is a multi-genre podcast all about beloved, moving, and deeply influential game Earthbound, or Mother as it's called in Japan. Blending audio drama and nonfiction deep dive, Mother, She Wrote doesn't just look into the themes and craft of the game, it puts you right into the mood and feel of the game. Here's the trailer, and you can find the podcast in our show notes or at mothershewrote.earth.
It happened in the quiet town of Podunk, an ages-old family mystery.
What happened with Great-Grandpa? Why won't you talk about it?
Because there's nothing to say, Ninten.
Begets an unprecedented paranormal event.
Help, brother!
Poltergeists.
My lamp attacked me. It was hovering in the air. It unplugged itself and came at me.
Mind control.
Why is that crow smoking a cigarette?
Okay, we're playing inside today.
Zombies.
I could have gotten out of here on my own.
You were hiding in a coffin.
It was a good disguise.
Extraterrestrials.
You've seen them too? I've been observing them for days.
I beat up aliens with my baseball bat.
Children with psychokinetic powers.
I let that little light of mine shine, Mama, and it melted the darkness away.
And that's just the beginning.
Introducing Mother, She Wrote, a travelogue diary through the biggest cult phenomena in video game history, the Mother series, as it's called in Japan, and Earthbound, as it's called everywhere else.
Each episode, we recount the story through immersive audio drama as it's lived by the characters, unpacking the surreal adventures, tear-jerking moments, and what it all means.
If you're new to the series, we'll take you beyond the controller and into the story.
And if you're a longtime fan, relive these tales like never before and learn fascinating new facts about your favorite games.
Find Mother, She Wrote on your favorite podcast player and at mothershewrote.earth.
Welcome to How to Act Fereldan, your podcast field guide to all things Dragon Age. I am one of your hosts, Will, and today, oh god, my Dragon Age, I'm like 647 over here today.
You sounded really unsure about your name, even. Like
that 647. You know, you live long enough, and who's to say anything at all?
I can't remember what I ate for breakfast. I'm supposed to remember the name someone gave me 647 years ago.
Truly, truly.
Oh god. I'm Anne, and my Dragon Age today is I don't even know. Man, I can't even come up with a number right now.
A question mark can be a number.
That's it's like
X.
the infinity symbol. It's just X. Yeah, find the age.
Solve for
Love
X, please, for the love of God.
Can anybody solve for X?
It's the like triangle. It says solve for, or like find X, and they just circle it.
Yeah,
Like that's
exactly.
Hi, I am GIANCARLO, and my Dragon Age? Excuse you? You never ask a dragon their age.
Perfect. Incredible.
We're really just riffing on it today. Just
Here
there's,
the fuck we
no
are,
energy.
you know?
This is art. Hi, art.
Today, we are going to be talking about the Elven Pantheon, which is one of my absolute favorite things in Dragon Age. Gave me some really nice brain candy. But first, by God, do we have some news? We've got like 3 pieces of news of varying insanity. I think let's go in the order that these are in the notes. I think let's go from most normal to least normal.
Yeah, I think that's
by a lot.
fair. Yeah.
So, first piece of news, we basically got confirmation that Dragon Age Dreadwolf Hey, Giancarlo, keep that name in your mind for reasons.
Can I confess something?
Yes.
I know I had something spoiled somewhere on Twitter, but I was so early in the Dragon Age stuff that I've forgotten it, and so I'm glad.
Oh, thank God. That's fine.
It's fine.
That's fine.
It'll become relevant in this episode, I think.
Okay.
May I confess something? How dare you? How dare you have gotten spoiled accidentally and then conveniently forgotten it? How dare? So with this piece of news, we got confirmation that it's not going to launch before March 2024. I'm sad, but not I'm certainly not surprised. It's already been delayed like 5,000 times. And do you know off the top of your head, actually guess either of you, when the fuck did Inquisition come out?
God, it was like 2014 or something like that.
That's what I was gonna go with as well.
So it's already been almost 10 years, like whatever.
Uh-huh.
Whatever.
Yeah, it was 2014, November 2014. Yeah.
Sure,
So,
fine.
I'm gonna place my bets right now. I'm thinking November 2024 is when we're gonna get it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna push past. They're saying it's not gonna be before March 2024. November. They're gonna push it out because they'll get it as close to like Dragon Age Day as possible.
Yeah. Holiday season feels fair for like a launch that's anticipated as well. In their defense, Skyrim came out for the first time in 2011.
When was the last time Skyrim came out? Do you know that?
Probably today, yeah. Do you guys remember when they made it? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
It came out yesterday on a Nokia brick. Like one of those cell phones from the 80s. Now you can use that for Skyrim.
It was in fact on the Switch in September last year.
Well, do you remember when they released it on Amazon Alexa? It was played as a gag at Bethesda's event, I think at E3 once, and it had like Keegan-Michael Key playing on the Alexa. But they actually made it. It was real.
No.
And nobody knew, so nobody used it.
Don't do that.
I don't know to what extent you could play, but it existed.
Amazon gave them so much money and was like, this will be a cool thing. And as they started developing it, everyone was like, oh, this is stupid as fuck. Yeah.
Hey Alexa, walk left. Hey, Alexa, take 12 steps forward.
Hey, this game actually came out in 2011. I think nobody fucking cares anymore. Like,
yeah. Maybe they could like make a new one.
Well, you see, it takes at least 10 years to make another game like this. So,
hey, but I'm sure at least when these games come out, they'll be like playable, right? I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Playable. How do you define playable? Can we define that?
Well, part of the game is fixing the game.
On.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't turn it on, but then everything else turns off.
Yeah. Can I make my character in character creation? Maybe.
You could try.
You could try. That was
define a character.
An actual bug I had with Inquisition. I could not get through character creation. It kept crashing in that.
Oh, we'll talk about bugs. We'll talk about bugs later today.
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's move on to our second piece of news. Y'all are gonna have to just like, I gave warning in the chat, but you're gonna have to rein me in here because this is so many of the things that I care about and so many of the things that are like, that I immediately care about right now that are pertinent. Since we last recorded, the WGA has started striking for its writers, specifically writers in TV and film, which is cool as hell. We support it entirely. Anne and I have been working on some podcast solidarity things through the Audio Alliance, which is affiliated with the WGAE. We love this shit. Go union, go. Pay your writers, etc.
Hopefully, by the time this episode releases, we are no longer under a strike and things have been sorted out. Hopefully. If we're not, we'll include links in the show notes about how to support the writers, I guess.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see all the seasons of Prestige TV that are suddenly written by generative AI.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
don't get Will started.
Let's course correct. Let's course correct.
Yes. Okay. So this article about that ties this into Dragon Age comes from the ever wonderful Cece Jung from Kotaku. Headline reads, former Dragon Age writer says BioWare eventually, quote, resented writers. This article is about David Gator, who we know from our like all about Dragon Age meow 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 intro episode. And essentially, David Gator is one of several game writers who is speaking up in support of the WGA. The WGA does not cover games writers. It should, but that's like another conversation. And basically, I'm going to summarize quite a bit of this article. He says that BioWare basically saw ambitious or even like good writing as like a hurdle and like an obstacle and a problem that they had to just kind of like shoo away. Really spectacular.
Dare you write something so good that I have to turn it into a video game?
Literally,
How
like
dare you?
They like what are they? What? What? Like what do they think a video game is? They don't. They simply don't. These execs they don't know shit about shit. And BioWare, as we know, was acquired by EA. That couldn't have been good. But BioWare is like known for these story-rich RPGs. And here we have at the time the head writer saying like, yeah, no, they hated us. They didn't want well-written games. I'll read this quote. Gator says in a tweet that so he left a year before EA acquired the studio, and he says, suddenly anyone in charge was asking, how do we have less writing? What does that mean?
What?
How do we have less writing is what the writers were asked. What does that mean?
Could you write less, please? Could you do less of your job, actually?
Could you highlight, delete?
You gotta scrap like 90% of this. Just like erase it.
It's like, it's so frustrating to hear, but also when you look at what happened to a lot of EA's or beloved franchises that EA acquired and then produced new games under that series, I'm like, well, it makes sense.
Yeah. Can you give us some other examples?
I mean, look at Andromeda, right?
Yeah, God.
Not to go on another Mass Effect tangent. That's it. I'm done. I've reached my quota. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious to see if that's changed, and hopefully, right, for Dreadwolf and all of that, maybe it has.
No.
I don't think it's changed with BioWare. I mean, it would help, and like EA, you know, it would help if they looked at the games that everybody's super duper excited about, like everyone's like the new Breath of the Wild game, not Breath of the Wild, the Legend of Zelda game, and it's
the Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes, thank you.
Which is being praised as having some of the best writing in the Zelda franchise, which Breath of the Wild was as well. And that's a huge appeal for people. Duh?
Yeah. Duh?
It's also just weird because they've invested in a number of like what is it Take-Two? No, Take-Two is Rockstar and GTA. The people who made It Takes Two and A Way Out, that studio, like they invest in a number of like indie projects that are actually like beloved and really well made, but then like their mainline stuff, I don't understand why we consistently hear, you know, these kinds of stories.
Right. Hazelight Studios.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. And like we can look at something that I know Giancarlo and I love to talk about a lot is the success of Supergiant Games. We can look at how well Hades did, how beloved it is. That thing is stuffed with writing.
Yeah. It is. And in a game where you wouldn't expect it either.
Yeah. Like it's just baffling and exhausting how little across every industry writing is seen as important and integral, because like EA doesn't fucking care. What they care about is that people are going to buy the game, and because Dragon Age is the name on the game and BioWare is the name on the game and there's characters people recognize, they're going to buy it no matter what. So why would they invest in writing? They don't care ultimately about the reviews as long as people are buying it.
Right. Like they don't have the they don't have the Pokemon model. Like Pokemon can make the same exact game 20 times and people will buy it because it's Pokemon, they like to play it. But
and it's got a new little guy. Every time it's got new little guys. That's all we need.
They add a new little guy that you are and like 20 new little guys that you can capture and play with. And then that's all they need. And they make like a new hot professor and a new hot gym leader and everyone's like, yeah, sure, I'll buy that.
Yeah.
But they don't have that with Dragon Age. They can't do that.
No.
Well, I feel like we could go down just a terrible rabbit hole at the way that our society is structured. But it really does. I'm curious, like, how far down this kind of treatment like makes it, because if you look all the way at the top of like at EA, right? Like, I'm sure the people making the decisions at that level obviously don't care about video games or fantasy media or anything like that.
Right.
They just want to make the money, and making good media often takes time. And when you need to write a million branching storylines, I feel like that doesn't gel with a lot of their goals, and it's just frustrating to see. I know we before we recorded, like in our Discord, we talked a little bit, and I was just like, I don't know why this keeps happening to like such awesome like fantasy media. Why do the people in charge of actually producing it hate the actual thing they're making? I don't know.
Yeah,
but
gestures wildly at Succession, which currently is in its final like 2 episodes. Okay,
we need a topic change. You cannot talk about Succession right now.
Absolutely the fuck no, I can't. Let's go to this last piece of news. Anne, I think that you're more familiar with this one than I am.
Yeah, so I first saw this on Tumblr, but apparently Will has found a Kotaku article about it, which means it's legit. I was hoping it was fake.
Nah.
Unfortunately, it's not. So, Giancarlo, I don't know if you've heard of the movie The Pope's Exorcist.
I believe I saw an ad for it once.
Yeah,
that's a
great.
hilarious title.
Nobody knows about it, really, that I know of. It's got Russell Crowe in it. You know who he is?
Of course.
It's not a good movie from what I've heard. But the funniest thing about it is that this movie does include stuff about the real life Spanish Inquisition. And in a section of this movie, there's like a stone etched like with the Inquisition symbol, except it's not the Spanish Inquisition symbol. It's the one from Dragon Age. It's the symbol for the Dragon Age Inquisition, which is very different.
So whoever made it all the way like through post, and everyone was like, "This is fine."
I like to believe that some like underpaid props master who really loves Dragon Age was like, fuck this movie, fuck this production, I'm gonna put my little Dragon Age reference, and I bet you none of them are gonna care enough to check.
That would be it, except that if you search Inquisition symbol, like the first thing that comes up is the symbol for Dragon Age Inquisition, and the second one is for an Inquisition that's in Warhammer 40k. And then you get the Spanish Inquisition. So there were so many ways this could have gone wrong, and they just whiffed really bad on this one. So don't watch this movie. But do look up the symbol that they used in it because it's Dragon Age.
Yeah, we'll link this piece in the show notes because it does have an image and it is funny as shit. It's real good. Let's move on because I am so excited to hear about how your playthrough is going, Giancarlo. For those who don't know, etc., twitch.tv/Whimsic Productions. You can watch and play, and it's a good time. It's very fun. Tell us about your recent escapades, please.
Oh, wait. Before you start, I did actually get to watch you play a little bit, very briefly, because when I tuned in, the one day that I was actually able to tune in to watch you play, you were having the worst luck with the Dragon Age Origins launcher and with the game. It I guess it wouldn't launch at first, and then there was no sound, and then the frame rate was so glitchy.
Oh god.
And it was just a nightmare, and I felt so bad, and it was the one time I've actually been able to watch the stream.
I know, I was so sad because I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear what Anne has to say about some of these things, and I was like, okay, well, well, first, thank you for tuning in. Second, I want to preface the complaining we're about to talk about with bugs and glitches by saying I've actually had a really great time the last couple of streams. But, oh boy, does this game just not want to be alive. It is screaming to be put out of its misery, at least on PC. I'm not even on Windows 11. I'm still on Windows 10, which I guess is still far more updated than whatever this would have released on. But Windows 10 has been around a hot second now, and the core framework is all the same. But there are a number of issues that we run into relatively frequently on stream, and is one of the reasons that while I am enjoying my time in Origins, I cannot wait to move on to a slightly newer game. So first, we have these, I'm calling them shader issues, but that's me taking a real wild guess. I don't really know what it is, but basically things will start to flicker. It happened to me at the start of this playthrough, where at one point I was in a dungeon and everything was just black, aside from the chest and the beds. And I was like, this is weird. I was like, this can't be right. And I closed the game and I opened it again and I was like, oh yeah, there is actual texture and terrain. That issue will pop up occasionally. So sometimes I'll be talking to someone and their armor will begin to flicker. And at first, you're not quite sure if it's funky, colorful armor, or if it's a glitch. And then you see it flicker and it's almost like it can't decide which armor the person is supposed to be wearing. And so it starts to break up. Same thing happens with I saw a cat and I was like, that is the funkiest looking cat I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, okay, cool. It's actually just displaying different kinds of cats all on the same guy. So we've been facing issues, but as Anne tuned in, not only was I struggling with glitches, but also I guess I was just under-leveled to finish the Witherfang quest.
Oh.
You were having some trouble.
Yeah.
And best thing, because I have since finished it, it was the very last fight that I basically had to do before finishing the quest, and I just could not handle it to where I had to backtrack and go do some other stuff and see what was up. But I've since been able to finish it. It was like a breeze when I came back, and I was like, wow, this was sad.
It was so hard to watch you struggle against it, and I wanted to give you tips, but I knew I was like, I can't. I have to let him fight through it. I have to let him figure it out. But I was like, don't do that. Do it this way. This will be easier. But I was like, I can't. I have to be quiet.
Yeah, I got a couple of upgrades, which allowed my characters to survive long enough to position in a way that was beneficial. So that went great. I had a great time. I've also, here's my dirty confession time. I've discovered, we're going to talk about the actual quest in a second, but I've discovered that what I really love about this game is the narrative and the character interactions. And the parts I don't love so much are when it throws 400 skeletons at you at once, 3 times in a row. And in the interest of enjoying the ride as much as possible, I have turned the difficulty to easy.
So
because
wise.
the mechanics are too outdated to make it worth the struggle. Because I'm like, hold up, this is not actually all that fun to me right now.
Yeah.
But I'm really invested in like why I'm here. So I've done that. It hasn't made like the biggest difference, but it's made enough of a difference where I'm like, cool. There are still some fights that are tough because there's too many enemies, but we're breezing through it a little faster and getting to the story and the stuff I care about more. So I'm hoping that in the future games the mechanics will be more satisfying.
Yes.
But yeah, that's the decision I've gone with. Also, fun bug that I was dealing with for multiple streams in a row. Denerim hates me.
Yeah.
Denerim will crash. It will break the game. Like the game will quit. But then the additional problem is, for some reason, it's not when I'm in different parts of the city, like when you're exploring the outer parts, that's fine. But when you're in Denerim proper, you cannot load into a save in Denerim. Something happens that won't let it load. So you have to load to an earlier save somewhere else, and then once you're in the game, load into Denerim.
Incredible.
And whenever you enter a door, it's like a 50-50 chance that the game crashes or not.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. What have we done to you? I am so sorry.
No. It's okay. It's okay because I think it speaks highly to the fact that I still want to play.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's great. I'm having an interesting time.
Now you understand why I don't play the games a million times, and I just read fan fiction. I've played them once.
Totally get
I'm
it
done.
now.
I'm gonna read fan fiction that follows the same exact plot of the game 20 times. I don't care. I just will not play this game again.
Yeah. Well, there was a brief moment when the Denerim crashes started, and I couldn't figure out because like it's a weird workaround to have to load into somewhere else and then load into Denerim, where I just couldn't figure out what it was. I ended up having to cut the stream early, and I was like, "Is the game like broken? Like." Am I just going to have to like look at a walkthrough, like watch someone else play it? Thankfully, I figured this out, but I do not blame anyone for not wanting to play this in its current state, at least on PC. I don't know if it's any better on like Xbox or PlayStation or anything like that. But BioWare, remaster it, make it work. Like,
please,
it's not,
for the love of God.
Yeah. Or just give us one big fat update and we'll be happy. But yeah, anyways, story-wise, I have since finished Witherfang. I want to touch on that one really briefly because I was like at the end of it and I was really invested in that storyline, and I'm so pleased because, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't done this yet, but as you go in, right, you're like, oh, where's Witherfang? I'm like, I don't trust this dude. I don't trust the keeper. He's giving me weird vibes. I want to talk. And I tried talking to Swift Runner, but I guess it's scripted that he attacks you no matter what. And I was so mad because he attacks you, and then you're just killing werewolf after werewolf. And I'm like, did I choose the wrong option? Did I fuck myself? Like, I don't know if peace is going to be an option anymore. I was able to negotiate peace. I talked to Witherfang. Nice. I talked to my dude, and that was such a depressing storyline. Like,
yeah,
dude's in the wrong. I convinced him to shove off this mortal coil, and I think it was the right decision. But also, like, I get it, man. You know, I'm like his kids. Like, what do you? It's tragic in the most beautiful way. I loved it. I really enjoyed that.
Yay!
And then we went on, and I went to Haven, which is the most mysterious, sketchy ass town I've ever seen.
It's something.
I fucking loved it. I loved it. I was like, this is what I wanted. I'm so pleased because I think I was stuck on like some of the more grindy and like dealing with bugs for like, I want to say a week in my playthrough.
Oh, God.
Where I was like, okay. And then I got like back-to-back quests just like in Redcliffe where I was like, yes, there's some sketchy stuff going on. I'm going to have to make some weird moral decisions. I love it. And yeah, I loved dealing with the weird culty thing. They skeeved me out in the perfect proportion. And then seeing that the ashes were actually there, like, was wild. Also, I did not use the horn yet. I totally forgot to use it to call the dragon down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious, is there a way to like fuck up that quest and like proceed without getting the ashes? Because also you have the option to, I forgot what it is. You can, instead of taking the ashes, you can do something else.
Oh, yeah, you can. You can fully destroy them.
Right.
That's what I did.
How did that go for you, Will?
How'd
I'm
that
so
go
curious.
for you, Will? I mean, Giancarlo didn't do it, so you can talk about it because it won't happen in his playthrough.
Yeah, I don't remember a lot of it. I remember just being like, absolutely fucking not. We shouldn't have this. Like, this is going to cause so many wars. Everybody just be fucking normal. Don't mess with this shit. And nobody liked that, and everybody was mad at me. I stand by it. So you took the ashes, yeah?
I did take the ashes. I have saved Oral Eamon. I brought Alistair with me because I assumed that there was going to be a big thing there. And so, yeah, we get the big reveal that Alistair is being proposed to be king.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could see it. Look, here's the thing. I'm like, I think Alistair, I'm hoping, right? I'm kind of down with him being king because he's not like an actively bad person, which I know I dunked on Alistair a little bit in our last episode. But I will fully admit, for those who have been watching, I carry Sten in my party, and Sten is definitely worse.
Yeah.
But Sten just talks less, so so it's okay. But I'm down for Alistair as king. I just would really I would hope that after traveling with us, he would be a little more open-minded about magic. That's my main desire if Alistair does become king. I have a feeling, knowing the drama that's coming, I don't know if Alistair's going to quite make it to the throne. But I support him. I'm about it.
Okay. Interesting.
So yeah, I'm super excited because now we're at the point where we got to meet up with the Arl later. So I've already done the Brazilian forest stuff, and I guess I haven't gone back to the camp since I finished that. I should go back to the camp and see what they think about their keeper dying. But I'm basically wrapped up there, and then I just need to go to the circle, which I wonder how I'm going to feel about that. I have a feeling I'm not going to be pleased with them. But
it's
we'll
not
see.
one of the best. It's not one of the best. It's not one of the best.
Yeah. But I'm excited. I think I'm 20 some hours into the game at this point, and I feel like we're getting to some climactic turning points soon.
Have you done Orzammar yet?
No, I have not done Orzammar.
Okay,
that's
what
missing,
I thought.
Yeah.
So you've got Orzammar, you've got the Circle. I think those are like the last big things. Is that right, Ian? Am I missing anything?
I think so. I think that's it. Yeah.
Because you've done Redcliffe.
Yes.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Oh man, there is a quest in Orzammar that I think about very often. There's a few quests and a few characters who return in some very interesting ways in later games. One of my very favorite characters in the series is somebody that you meet in Orzammar in a side quest in Origins.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved the questions at like the trial for the ashes.
Yes.
Yeah. I also found it very funny that Morrigan just refused to engage, and he was like, "Yep, that's fine." The puzzle. The puzzle was really fun to me. I really enjoyed doing that. But I loved the little like apparition of my buddy from Orzammar being like, "Oh, you left us all," and I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I should have done more to get you out." And he was like, "Oh, no, just kidding. You're good, bro." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
Dwarves, man.
Yeah.
Okay, let's break for mid-roll, meow, 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 beep, beep. And then we can go into Elven Pantheon.
In a world of covert culinary criminal coalitions,
GIANCARLO,
Oui Chef, reformed criminal and celebrity chef Butch Orson.
Prepare the brigade.
Oui Chef. is dragged back into the dark realm of criminal kitchens.
Behind.
When old rivals threaten his life's work,
Corner!
Butch is brought back.
Hot.
No.
For one last cook.
Open Pandora's oven.
Yes, Chef!
John Wick meets Hell's Kitchen in Yes Chef, a comedic actual play adventure of kooky culinary combat, refried revenge, and untold gastronomic horrors.
And there is just a very tiny, skinny man dripping in brown black water. And you see this man seems to have just come out of the bathroom. Roll for initiative.
God. John.
And then he comes
I'm like, what? I'm like, this is a joke. Like, you're kidding. Like, haha. It's so funny. Let's keep playing Yes Chef. No, he's serious. He's like, roll initiative. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Yes Chef is out now on the Dungeons and Drimbus podcast feed. Butchie, a genuine pleasure to see ya.
So, we have returned. It is time to talk about the Elven Pantheon. So this is going to be just like a little 101. I'm going to run through it, and then I would love us to talk about our faves and any other thoughts that come up.
Cool.
So, there's a few like little vocab terms to just get out of the way up first. The Elven Pantheon in Elven is called the Evenures. So if you see that come up, that's what that's referring to, is just their name for the Pantheon. And you at this point, you know about the Fade. Yeah, of course you do. You did, yeah. So the Fade is incredibly important to the Elven Pantheon and religion. The other most important thing is that the elves were all immortal until the humans showed up. Yeah. And then they became mortal. And when they were immortal, their gods were just like hanging out, like with the mortals. They were just walking around. They walked the mortal plane. You could chill with them. Like they were around until some shit went down, which we'll get to. Have you seen references to the fact that the elves used to be immortal?
Yes. I've read about it. I also did an Elven Start where I think I saw that a little bit.
Yeah.
And when you do the Witherfang quest, whatever, the Keeper, I forgot his name right now.
Yeah.
Zathrian?
Yes.
Claims to be immortal again, but then we discover he's not.
He sure isn't. In these gods, there were two clans. So there's the Creators, which is the pantheon that we're going to be talking about today. And then the Forgotten Ones, who were the enemies of the Creators. These are like old evil gods, and their like names have not been recorded. So all of that is lost. And then there's one god, Fen'Harel, who was said to basically go between both of those clans freely and was seen as like a fellow and one of them by both of these clans. The gods were not said to have made the earth. That's still the creator potentially, or like the earth was just kind of there. They are of the earth. So you'll see that like some of them, their parents are like the sun or the sea. So they were walking around like normal, but until some shit went down, or rather, when some shit went down, they were trapped away in the Fade, so people assume, and have been locked there ever since. So the elves have just had their gods taken away from them, and been turned mortal. So And then, all of the things on the mortal plane happened to elves. So have not had great luck.
No.
Diving into the Pantheon itself, first we have Elgar'nan. He is the god of vengeance, the sun, and fatherhood, and his symbol is the sun. It is said that he was born of the land and sun, like literally his dad is the sun. So they talk about his dad all the time, and they mean like straight up the sun. His name is
I heard
often
his dad's
invoked-
pretty hot.
Yeah, oh God.
I'm sorry.
Boo!
Boo! I just made a thumbs down at my screen.
Here comes
you
our
can't
first
see
one-star
it, but I
review.
made a thumbs down at my computer.
Here comes the sun.
It's from me.
So, according to Elven legend, I'm gonna half read, half abridge from the wiki. The sun grew jealous because Elgar'nan loved all the things of the earth. So the sun was like, "Fuck you," and burned everything to ashes. And Elgar'nan, quote, threw the sun down from the sky. I don't know how or why, but that's what it says. And he eventually gave up because Mythal, who we'll get to in a second, was like, "Hey, babe, chill, maybe, maybe calm down. We do actually need the sun to live." And he was like, "Okay." So in the doc, if you look, there are images from Inquisition. And this is of something called Valisleen. Now, you've probably seen this from some Dalish clans. Essentially, when the Dalish come of age, they get these facial tattoos, and they represent one of the gods. So these are the designs for Elgar'nan when you get to them in Inquisition. I think they're pretty. Not my favorite, but we'll get to my favorite. Next, we have Mythal, who is the goddess of love, justice, and motherhood. Her symbol is sick as hell. It's a dragon lady because she has a dragon form.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does.
As I have, I think, alluded to last episode, I have some big crackpot theories about some shit. And Mythal's dragon form is prominent in those theories. She is said to be born of the sea. And again, she's the one who was like, "Elgar'nan, can you please calm down?" And she is said to have created the moon to reflect the sun's true glory. Sure. And then we've got her Valisleen there.
Hers is my favorite.
It's really fucking cool. It's sick.
Yeah.
It's the one I picked for my my Inquisitor character in Inquisition. And it was before I really knew what any of these meant. I was just like, this one's pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with this one.
I think that's how most people pick. Because most people don't have the problems that I have.
I think they also, in character creator, don't label them.
No.
So if you don't know, then you're never gonna know.
Yeah.
Unless you're Will.
Unless you're me and you have the problems.
Yeah.
It's a treat just for Will.
Yeah. Next is Falendine, who is the god of death and fortune. His symbol is an owl. His name is invoked on people's deathbeds pretty often, and he has a twin brother named Dirthaman, who we'll get to soon. He is one of Mythal's oldest sons. So his deal is he and his twin brother Dirthaman were walking around, and then they see a dying deer, and Falendine carries her to rest beyond the veil, which he could go into no problem. But his brother was like, "What the fuck is that? I can't, ow." The deer spirit was released, and once she left her dying body, she was like, "Oh shit, yeah, that's right, I'm a deer," and was like, "Hooray," and deering about as you do, gallivanting. And from that moment, Falendine vowed that he would remain to guide all of the dead from their place in the Fade. So once the elves became mortal, he's the one who is shepherding them to the Fade. Because of this,
I have some constructive criticism for the Elven Pantheon.
Please.
If his whole story is about a fucking deer, why isn't his symbol a deer? Why an owl? Pick better, guys. Come on.
Yeah. But, okay.
Fair.
We have a goddess of the Hala later on, and they're like really close to deer. And on top of that, Deerthaman's symbol, which we'll get to, is a raven. So I kind of like that they both have like different birdie.
Yeah, like fine, but also consider.
You're right though.
I think these two are some of the most referenced in Origins and the codexes I found so far.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Really dismal games. Very very sad games. Very morbid, I suppose. Oh god, not more than 2 though. Never mind. Origins is nothing.
Uh-oh.
Moving on. His Valisline is cool. It kind of looks like the Eye of Sauron to me.
Yeah.
I don't really go to Lord of the Rings though, so I could be wrong.
It kind of looks like the middle's the Eye of Sauron, and then up top you have what is it, Eredin, from the Wild Hunt in The Witcher 3. I don't know why that's invoking like his head shape to me.
Sure. I trust you. I trust you entirely. Falandine's twin brother, Deerthaman, is the god of secrets, knowledge, and deceit, which is fascinating to me. I am always a fan of a god of secrets, but I think that it is especially fascinating with how the Elven Pantheon was betrayed. I have a lot of like not really even theories, but just like, ooh, what if there's something there? His symbols are ravens, and then also like sometimes bears, I guess. Like in the wiki, it's like Deerthaman gave every kind of creature their own secret, but the only one who kept it a secret was a bear. What? Huh? Okay.
Yeah, listen, their symbols should have been a deer and a bear.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
They're holding some information out on us until the last game.
Yeah, they are.
Oh,
those
God.
fuckers. As Falandine was hanging out with that deer in the Vale, Deerthaman was walking around the Fade, and he found 2 ravens named Fear and Deceit. And they took him back to his brother, and the twins swore to never be parted again. Okay, sure. Okay, Deerthaman only gets 1 Valisline. It's fine.
Oh, I like it more than Falandine's.
Yeah, for sure. I do like the kind of like birdie thing going up top, which I guess is like raven. No bear though. Unless the things on the cheeks are like bear claws. I could get behind that.
Oh, I could see that.
They kind of did like a combo on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get down with that.
Next up is Andruil, who is one of my favorites. She is the goddess of the hunt, blood, and survival. She's very much just like an Artemis figure. And her symbols are the hare and the hawk, both. I guess she gets 2, sure. She is either a daughter of Mythal or a daughter of the earth. She is gay as shit. She has a lover named Gillen Nain, who was a mortal elf woman who Andruil turned into a godly Hala, which we'll talk about. Put a pin in that guy. All of these gods have like, quote unquote, ways, which are like ways of interacting with the world. They are sporadically written in the wiki, so you get them when you get them. She is the way of the 3 trees, which is the way of the arrow, which is fly straight and do not waver. Second, the way of the bow, bend but never break. And then third, the way of the forest, receive the gifts of the hunt with mindfulness, or alternatively, together we are stronger than the one. Andruil confirmed god of the WGA writer's strike. One thing that I really love in her story is that she confronts the Forgotten Ones, these like old evil gods, for the right to punish Fen-Hurel. Again, put a pin in it, we'll get to him. But he outsmarted them both. But I love this idea of this hunter goddess going to her sworn enemies and being like, give me the right to ground my brother, please. I like how strong and like almost architectural the Valisleen is for her.
Yeah.
Very swoopy,
Well,
but
it evokes
sturdy.
like bows and daggers almost.
Yeah, yeah.
It is my least favorite Valisleen, but I do see the like bows, archery, trees imagery in it. It is just my least favorite, I think.
I
think I just don't like the thick lines. Wait, no,
Yeah.
sorry. I just looked at Silays and I changed my mind. I have a least favorite.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I'm with you. Okay, let's talk about Silays. Silays
Oh
is
God.
goddess. Yeah, it's thick. She's thick, and it doesn't. I think it's supposed to look like fire, but it looks like
snakes. Looks like
it
weird
looks like
snakes.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like you tried to evoke like Medusa on your face.
Yeah, the simple version of Silays' Valisleen looks like edgelord shit, and the complex version looks like somebody got way too carried away at the Renfest.
Like I fell asleep and my 2-year-old got a hold of a permanent marker and scribbled on my face, kind of.
Exactly. Silays is the goddess of the hearth, the domestic arts, healing, and fire. Her symbol is fire. She is invoked to protect the sick and watch over the innocents. She's also invoked when lighting or extinguishing fires, and she's invoked in wedding vows, which I think is sweet. I'm a sap. She is okay, so some weird shit. She is either the sister, so she is the sister of Andruil. She is either the sister or the wife of June, who is a god.
Could be both.
Could absolutely be both.
Or perhaps the sister wife.
June, god of the craft. He is the god of crafts and buildings. No symbol given for this guy. Even in the wiki, there's like not a ton known about this guy. Canonically, very weird. He's either the husband of Silays, or her and Andruil's brother. He taught elves to make bows and knives and shit. And I'm also not wild about his Valisleen, more thick lines, but I think that the simple version, it's pretty cool. I like a good
I like the alternate
line down the center of a face. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
Next, we have Gillen Nain, another favorite of mine, mother of Hala. She is the gods of Hala and navigation. Giancarlo, have you run across any Hala yet?
Yes, I've run across several, and I've also gotten the quest, but I don't carry anyone in my party who can do the thing we need to do.
Which thing? I don't remember this thing.
There's someone who has like a sick Hala.
Help her!
I want to, but I don't know who can help.
Gillen Nain was a mortal woman, lover of Andruil, very gay, canonically lesbians, love that. She was turned into a Hala. Okay, so she was walking around and she saw this hunter, and this hunter tried to kill, I think, a wolf, and she was pissed. She was like, What is wrong with you? Why are you just killing this for no reason? So she put a curse on him so that he would never be able to kill again. And then she was like still in his presence. So he retaliated because he was like angry and apparently had like anger management problems in regards to like the well-being of others. So he tried to kill her. But he was cursed to not be able to kill. But he kept trying.
Yeah.
So he just sort of like, turned her into a little bit of a pulp. At which point Andruil saw her and was like, fuck no, turned her into a Hala, and then the Hala form of Gillen Nane rose to godliness. I like her, and I really like this Valisline. I think that it's very minimal. I think that it's very pretty. It's very elegant, but also I love the Hala. I think that their design is so cool. I am already
Very
somebody
pretty.
who loves deer, like lesbians. I was always going to have a favorite. Like, come on.
Also, a big, majestic, magical deer can never go wrong in a fantasy
Literally.
forest.
Okay, up next, finally, we got the biggin. Fen'Harel, the Dreadwolf. He is a trickster god. He's the god of betrayal or sometimes rebellion. His symbol is the wolf, obviously. He is sort of the, like, Lucifer character, I guess we could say, in the Elven Pantheon. He is...
I was going with, like, the Loki character, because...
Also that. Yeah, for sure. So, his name is, like... It can be invoked in a few different ways. So, it's sometimes invoked to be like, hey, what the fuck? You would say, like, by Fen'Harel, who the fuck are you? Probably not like that, though.
I don't know. I liked it. I once more, just pretend you stepped on a Lego right before.
By Fen'Harel, God fucking ows! Why? Don't even have these in my house like that, you know?
We got it, folks. We got it.
You can also say Dreadwolf take you, which you say when you're doing like a battle cry. And then if you're saying goodbye to somebody, you could say, may the Dreadwolf never hear your steps. But you don't invoke him to ask something of him like the others, unless you're desperate and you can pay the fuck up. This is a big, like, monkey's
That's
paw
metal.
situation.
I like it. I'm into this.
Right? Right? Yeah. Dreadwolf shit is cool as hell, honestly.
I'm sure it will have
Is
no
it?
bearing on future games.
No, I don't think
not
so.
at all. No.
Yeah.
There's no Dreadwolf in the future games at all.
I know.
Definitely not in the 4th Dragon Age game.
No.
No.
What if, like, then there
It's
wasn't?
just subtitled Dreadwolf because they're having such a hard time making it that it's them cursing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's THEDAS all over again.
It's Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Everything sucks. Dreadwolf, take you. God damn it.
So that title was just a little too long. So one of the things about Fen'Harel that's not great is he just, like, fully doesn't fucking like elves. He doesn't fuck with them. He is almost always on his own. He does not hang out with these people. He has no interest in elven culture. And in modern day, Fen'Harel is so, like, he's such, like, a boogeyman character that there's statues of him facing away from Dalish camps, as a reminder that the Dalish basically always have to, like, keep an eye out for betrayal, which I think, like, given, like, yeah. And keepers of Dalish clans wear rings of sylvan-wood depicting Fen'Harel's betrayal of the gods, get there in a second, as a reminder of their duty to protect their clan. So the keeper is, like, one of the only 2 mages who are ever in a Dalish clan. Dalish clans can't have more than 2 mages. One is a keeper, and one is a kept. They have a name, but they're like students. And the idea is they learn from the keeper, and when another clan needs a keeper or needs a mage, they go and become that keeper. They do this to, 1, keep protected from mages turning and getting possessed and what have you, but also because the Dalish really value magic and see that as, like, you know, a kind of connection to wisdom. And again, you're basically in an apprenticeship from the time you come of age until whenever you're needed. So there's like a lot of knowledge passed down there. So the keepers wear rings of this betrayal to always remind them to protect their clan. So
I love that.
betrayal.
I find the elves so interesting.
Right? It's so much cooler than
It's so much
than the
cooler.
Chantry.
The maker literally doesn't do shit. He made
Doesn't do
something,
shit.
I guess, but that's it.
Yeah. Whereas, meanwhile, you could go have a cool lesbian party with two gods. Like, it's so much better. I love...
That sounds so much more fun.
It does. I love that the gods used to just hang around in the mortal plane until... So, Fen'Harel tricked both clans of gods, the creators and the forgotten ones, into thinking he had forged this like perfect heavenly weapon against the other side. And both sides believed him. They went looking, and then he sealed them away. And nobody knows really where he sealed them away. Everybody figures it's somewhere in the Fade, but like they're actual people eternally trapped.
Yeah.
And he is now the only one who is said to still wander around. I would just love your thoughts, Giancarlo.
Okay. So this is beginning to ring the vaguest of bells about what I alluded to earlier that may have gotten spoiled for me.
Okay.
So, but I don't remember what it was. But my vaguest suspicion is that he is someone who is going to end up in my party at some point, and I'm not going to find out until the end of the third game. And I think there's like a TV show or a movie or something that came out on Netflix, and I think it's about him.
Oh my god, I never watched that.
Okay, so I did. It's not about him at all.
Okay, dope.
Okay.
Cool.
The TV show takes place in Tevinter,
Sweet.
after the events of Inquisition.
Cool.
But it doesn't really affect anything except that there's like Inquisition agents there, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're just like the people who are doing things. Even though like there's things you could do at the end of Inquisition that would mean there's not Inquisition agents around. But they just decided that's their canon save state.
Yeah.
For the
Wild.
Dragon Age world.
Wild.
But yeah, too cool of a god, and also, I mean, this is all stuff that we find, you know, in the Codex, so it's not really centered, at least in Origin right now.
Right.
But this seems like a major event that would be, I mean, one, obviously, I know that Dreadwolf is coming. Dreadwolf is coming. But yeah, I don't know. It seems really cool, and I'm excited to see how the games make use of him, because obviously I have to assume they will at some point. Very, very cool thing to name a game after, which makes me believe that something terrible is in my future, and I don't know what it is. And it fills me with dread and delight.
Yeah.
Well, he is the
delightful
Dreadwolf.
dread.
Oh.
So
Anne, do you think I can share the parts of my theories that won't spoil anything?
yeah, I guess go for it. Why not?
Okay.
As long as you don't say anything about
Yes.
who they are in canon,
Yes.
like in the games.
So I have, and I don't, to be clear, I don't think they're going to do this.
Okay.
This is like what I think they should do, but I don't think that they will. I am fairly convinced that Mythal, who is like the mother goddess, this one who has like the dragon form, I am convinced that she is Andraste. I am convinced that Fen'Harel is Shartan. And according to the chat, you got some info on Shartan recently, huh?
According to the chat?
When you said Andraste's pet.
Well, you said
Oh,
Mythal. Will.
I
And
was making a wild guess. So, listener at home, I guess, peek behind the curtain. We last week forgot to issue a specific fanfic challenge.
Yeah, we're
Anne?
gonna get to that.
Okay.
That was my random suggestion.
Got it. Okay. So the reason I reacted in a way is because there is a piece of the codex that has, I think, recurred in different games about Andraste having a very loyal dog. And it has been dissected that the dog is actually Shartan. Part of this being because of those redacted verses. I know they had a name, but something in the Chant of Light. There were these like big passages that have been redacted because they pointed to Shartan as the other like huge leader of this rebellion. And then we read this poem about Andraste's dog, and it seems very similar. So I thought that you had gotten to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is that's the first half of my thesis here.
I am so scared.
Yeah. There's Fenharel sure did lock away most of the gods.
Okay, I doubt this is related, but I think I gotta go use that horn to summon that dragon near Haven.
Oh shit. Well, update us on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's time for fanfic challenge, and we did a bad job. So can you?
You did a bad job. So last week we got so excited talking about Alistair.
Yeah.
And then we jumped right into what's that Dragon Age, and we didn't realize until about 30 minutes before recording that while you had written next challenge Andraste in our notes document, you didn't actually say it in the episode. Or give me any context except Andraste.
Correct.
And then 30 minutes before recording, you added on Mythal?
Oh, I meant Andraste. Well,
it's okay, because there are... you know what? I rolled with it. I went, well, that doesn't make any sense, but I'm gonna roll with it and see what happens.
Oh my god, did they fall in love?
No. In fact, there are... I will tell you my search settings. I am looking up stories with Andraste and Mythal, both as named characters in the document.
Okay.
Complete works only, because I don't want to deal with unfinished fics. There are a total of 5 that just mention both characters.
Great.
I'll take it.
3 of them take place during Inquisition. One is somebody's notes document about like their guide for lore for a fanfic they're writing. They just made an extra story on AO3 for that. Like, fine.
They published their notes?
They published their notes.
Okay,
so
sure. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, the sort of guide for they're making up their own lore, and that about the Dalish, and that's their notes document for it. And then one I didn't read. There was a lot going on in this description. But one of them I'm just gonna call out. Now, this is an old fan fiction, back from the days of when this was a popular trope. And it is the modern girl goes to THEDAS concept.
Oh, sure, sure.
If anyone not familiar with reading lots of fanfic, is where you basically self-insert the story, and it's like, me as I am right now, Anne, 29, sitting at my desk, suddenly wakes up and I am in THEDAS as myself, but I know everything about Dragon Age.
In modern parlance, we call this getting isekai'd.
Sure, yeah. I don't watch anime. I just read fan fiction, Will. So yeah, that's one of the like 5 stories. I didn't read any of them because I had 30 minutes to find something. And the only one that is like maybe something that would be relevant and readable and mentionable on the story is the one that was confusing and had too many characters, and it's also 25,000 words. So I was like, no, I don't have time. I just physically don't have time to read that right now.
That is so correct.
I have to commend the dedication and the hard work that must go into these.
Yes. Genuinely. That is a lot of words.
Yeah, when I first started looking at like stuff with Mythal and Andraste and things, I was like, oh no, I can't do anything with Mythal because that'll all be spoilers.
Oh yeah.
So I just kind of had to roll with what I had, which was nothing. So
you did great, kid.
I think I did great considering I had nothing. But what I would like to know is, what is my challenge for next time? Can I actually have one? As a fully formulated thing to look for. It may have to do with, I think we have to stay away from the gods.
Oh no, I was gonna say June making arts and crafts.
I think you can do one with one of the minor gods. I think find us one with June.
Yeah, it's just that June is a generic word.
Right.
Right.
And trying to find something with that. I'm checking if I can actually do this. June, Dragon Age. No, it's gonna be all spoilers because it's gonna talk about the Dreadwolf locking people away.
How about this? What if we go Witherfang?
Yeah.
All right.
Witherfang.
All right.
We got it.
Just something with Witherfang.
Yeah.
Something with
God
Witherfang.
Damn it.
Yeah. Oh no.
The first thing that popped up was something with Flemeth. And I can't reference that one. So we'll just have to skip
Flemeth
to
is
something else.
constantly at the back of the mind ever since your reaction to my suggestion of that for the fanfic.
Yeah. Sure.
So, what's that Dragon Age?
Yeah, what is it?
So, as always,
we can talk about.
I have linked a dragon in our document. Nobody opens it until we get here. First thought, best thought. What is that dragon's age? Whoever's got one.
There is a correct answer to this one.
There is.
There is, yeah.
However.
Wait. Okay,
First thought,
it is
best thought.
5,713,246.
Okay.
Sorry, what was that number? It kind of got a little out of steam there, buddy.
Oh God, I can't breathe. It's 5,713,246.
Okay, all right.
Amazing. Now, Anne,
God.
what's this Dragon Age?
9.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Anne's right, actually.
I think I might be right.
Who would like to describe this dragon?
This is just a Dragon Ball Z dragon, right?
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad was very into that. I watched like the Frieza episodes with him, and I was like, "Why are they screaming so much?"
Yeah, they yell
as a young boy. He's a long boy. He's very slender, very snake-like. However, retains all legged appendages. Long whiskers, very sensitive boy. Beautiful ruby red eyes and reindeer antlers atop.
He does have reindeer antlers. They look like they should be fuzzy.
Yeah, yeah. Or like they're made out of gingerbread.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I do want to bite them.
Yeah.
God.
But also he does kind of have like old man sideburns.
He does.
He does.
He's dignified, a little scary, but also very goofy.
He also has all 7 of the Dragon Balls.
He does. So. It's wish time, baby.
Oh, I thought he was just showing us his age.
Oh, 9?
5,713,246.
Okay, so what Giancarlo has done is the Dragon Balls are at the bottom of this image, and the first one has 5 stars. The second one has 7 stars.
Oh my god.
The next one has 1, then 3, 2, 4, and 6. I was trying to figure out why you were counting before you gave us the age.
I thought you were doing it for dramatic
effect. This is my favorite segment on the show.
It's really good. It's super important. As always, if you want to see a picture of that dragon we just aged, you can find our
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Or you can go to our website, which is hughouse.productions. You can follow us at Act Fereldan on Tumblr. You can find that Tumblr also on our website. You can email us at hughouse. Nope, you can't. You can email us at hughouseproductions@gmail.com if you have any questions, topic requests, fanfic challenges, or dragons to age. And if you want to see Giancarlo play Dragon Age, you can follow at twitch.tv/whimsicproductions. Woo! Until next time. Oh no.
Dragon on!
Dragon on! I was going to say phlegm that meth, and that is worse.
Oh no.
Ew.
Sorry.
That's terrible.